The wind was sharp that morning, the kind that carried dust and old prayers across the Wyoming plains, and Tom Harlan rode into it with a worn leather satchel tight behind his saddle and the weight of a promise on his heart. The sky stretched endlessly above him, a pale winter blue, and somewhere beyond those distant ridges, a widow named Clara Jensen was waiting for a few dollars she'd earned scrubbing floors at the Whitaker Ranch, wages that most men in town had forgotten she was due. Tom hadn't. He wasn't much for words, nor for meddling, but when he'd heard that Mrs. Jensen hadn't been paid in months, something in him, something quiet and stubborn, had stirred. Maybe it was because he'd lost his own wife 2 winters ago, or maybe it was because he'd once known hunger himself, back before he had land and a name folks respected. So he rode out, the coins jangling faintly, a simple errand turning into something he couldn't quite name. The trail to Clara's homestead was long and lonely, weaving through bare cottonwoods and frost-bitten grass. The closer he got, the more he wondered what he'd find: a weary woman, a half-collapsed cabin, maybe nothing at all. The valley had forgotten people before. When he finally crested the last hill, he saw smoke curling from a crooked chimney and something else that made him rein up heart. Children, dozens of them, maybe 20 or more, were running around in the yard, their laughter carrying through the cold air like a hymn. They weren't hers, Tom knew that much. Clara had lost her husband in a mine collapse and never had children of her own. Yet here they were, ragged, skinny, and alive, chasing each other with sticks and grins, while a thin woman in a faded shawl stood on the porch stirring a pot that looked too small for that many mouths. Tom dismounted slowly, unsure whether to approach or ride away quietly. He'd come to pay her, not to intrude. But Clara looked up just then, brushing a strand of hair from her face, and when their eyes met, something like recognition passed between them, 2 people who'd seen loss, yet kept standing anyway. "Mr. Harlan," she called, her voice soft but steady. "I wasn't expectin' company." He tipped his hat. "Didst mean to bother you, Mom. Just came to settle your wages from Whitaker's place. Figured it wasn't right, you workin' and not bein' paid." Her hand stilt on the ladle, and for a moment, he thought she might cry. But she only smiled, a tired, gentle thing. "That's mighty kind of you. But truth is, I stopped workin' there weeks ago. Couldn't keep leavin' these little ones alone." She gestured toward the yard, where one of the boys was pretending to lasso another with a length of twine. "Their folks are gone, fever, accidents, the winter. Most come from the mining camps. No one else to take 'em in." Tom looked around, at the tattered coats, the thin shoes, the brave faces. "You're feeling all of 'em." Clara shrugged, stirring the pot again though it was mostly broth and